Hey everyone, Joey here, and today we're going to be doing a full setup guide for RPCS3 on PC to play our favorite PS3 games. Alright, now before we actually start the setup, you're going to need PlayStation 3 games, of course. I would suggest simply creating a ROMs folder on your PC somewhere, and then creating a PS3 folder inside of it, as that's where we're going to put our PS3 games. Now, as far as finding the games yourself, the ROMs Fun website has been useful, and you typically want to grab the ISO decrypted versions, and usually it has USA region in the file name. The games will usually download as a zip file, so make sure to extract them to get the ISO inside. Now, we actually need the folders that are inside the ISO, so right-click the ISO and choose Mount. Click Open to the pop-up, and you should see the files and folders like you see on my screen. But if not, check the side to see the DVD drive and open that. Copy everything that you see in here, and then head to your PS3 folder that we created earlier, and create a folder for the game. So this is Black Ops 3 for me. And then paste the files inside. Repeat this for any ISOs that you have. We also need to download the firmware for the PlayStation 3, which you can get right off of the PlayStation website, or it's linked in the description. Scroll down to Update using a computer, and click Download PS3 Update. It might give you an error, just click Allow Download so it can download. Alright, let's head over to the RPCS3.net website and click the Download button. On this page, you'll want to click the download for the operating system you have. And since I'm using Windows, I'll click Download for x64. It's going to download a 7-zipped file. Go ahead and right-click it and choose Extract All. At this point, you can move that extracted folder anywhere that you want. Maybe you have an emulators folder somewhere on your drive. It doesn't matter, it's up to you. Head inside of the folder, and we want to open the RPCS3 file to launch the emulator. First things first, feel free to create a desktop shortcut or a start menu shortcut if you want. I want to use the dark theme for my eyes, and then uncheck Show at Startup so that this doesn't always pop up. And then check that you read the Quick Start Guide. You didn't, but that's why this video exists. Click Continue. We are now in the emulator, and the first thing we need to do is install the PS3 system firmware, so head to File at the top left, Install Firmware, and navigate to that PS3 updat file that we downloaded and select it. It'll install, and then you can click OK. A new screen is going to pop up to do some installations and compiling. Let it finish. It's now time to tell RPCS3 where our PS3 games are, so click File at the top left, then Add Games, and navigate to your PS3 ROMs folder where your games are, and select it. You should see all of your games start to populate and show up. Now you're going to get a screen like this, and this is sort of important. There is an option here for pre-compile cache. Basically, if you select this now and then click OK, it's going to compile all of the cache for all of the games that you installed, which could take a very long time if you do it all in one shot right now. Alternatively, whenever you open a game for the first time, it is going to compile those caches at that point. So it's up to you. You could do it now or later. Alright, so time to change some settings. Head to Configuration, then CPU. On this page, there's nothing really to change, so head to GPU. First, for renderer, Vulkan is usually the default, but you can change this if you see better performance with a different option. I would suggest just leaving it as Vulkan and doing a per game change later, and we'll talk about that. For resolution and scale, I wouldn't touch these either. You technically can upscale if you'd like, and you can feel free to try, but I've found that it causes problems sometimes, and you really need a beefy computer for it. Now, one change that I would make is for frame limit to set it to PS3 native. Some games will play at 2x speed out of the box, making you scratch your head, but PS3 native solves it. Now, if you ever do 60 FPS patches or anything like that, you're going to want to change this on a per game basis, and again, we'll look at per game basis in a little bit. Then for graphics device, just make sure that it is your graphics card if you have one, and not your internal graphics card if you have two. Lastly, VSync is an option if you're noticing tearing in any of your games. Head to the Emulator tab, and there is one change here. Start games in full screen mode, which is exactly what it says. It'll start your games in full screen. You can choose to enable the performance overlay here if you'd like, and you want to see how your games are performing, but I just like to imagine that my games are running perfectly instead of seeing it. I'm mostly kidding, but it's up to you. Then head to the GUI tab, and there's only one change. Let's uncheck the Show Exit Game dialog option. Basically, whenever you exit a game, this will pop up saying, "Are you sure?" And that's pretty annoying. I'm pretty sure I want to exit the game. So let's turn that off. Click Save at the bottom. Let's do controller stuff now, so head to Configuration, and then Pads. By default, it wants to use the keyboard, so choose that, and this all depends on whatever controller you're using. I'm using an Xbox controller, and that's X input. An easy way to tell if it's correct is if you scroll down after choosing it, and you move your sticks, you'll see it move on screen. So if it moves, you got the right one. If not, you don't. Now, if you want to remap any of the controls, you can do so by selecting the mapping, and then pushing the button on your controller. Otherwise, go ahead and click Save. If you head back to Configuration and then Shortcuts, you're going to see all of the different hotkeys available to you. Now, unfortunately and weirdly, none of them apply to controllers, so you can't really do much using the controller for exiting a game, or really anything that you see here. So to exit a game, I usually just push the Escape button and then the X button to get out. Next up, head to Manage and then Game Patches. Click Yes to let it download the patches. Then choose Only Show Own Games at the top. Basically, game patches can be a lot of things. 60 FPS patches in some cases, cheat type patches, disabling certain graphic settings, adding support for new aspect ratios, and so on. There's no need to do anything here just yet, so click Save. Now go ahead and find a game, and then right-click, and then Manage Game Patches. It's going to open the same window, except it'll only show the options for that specific game now, and you can feel free to enable or disable anything that you want. But pay attention to the notes as to what it does in the bottom right. Click Save when done. Now you probably noticed that for a bunch of games, it says Update Available and a newer version. So let's update our games to their newest version. This is linked in the description, but we want the Rusty PSN tool from GitHub. Head over to the Releases section, and whichever is the latest update, and then you want the Rusty PSN eGUI Windows zip file. Click it to download. Go ahead and extract it, and then open the Rusty PSN app. Run anyways if it asks. Head back to RPCS3 and find a game that needs the update. Right-click, Copy Info, Copy Serial. Go back to Rusty and paste that serial in, and click Search for Updates. Click Download All when you get the result. If you check the Rusty PSN folder, you're going to see a Packages folder, and the updates are inside of there. So, to install those updates, open RPCS3, the File tab, and then choose Install Packages. Navigate to that Packages folder, the game name, and select all the files that are inside of it and click Open. Click Yes to install the updates. You should see the version after, and it should no longer say Updates Available if you did it right. Alright, so let's talk about per game settings. Right-click a game, and then you're going to see Create Custom Configuration from Global Settings, and we want that. Now, any changes that you make here will only apply to this specific game. So maybe you enable the 60 FPS patch and you need to change the frame limit to 60 FPS, or maybe you found some other settings that make the game run better, all that sort of thing. Just click Save Custom Configuration at the bottom when done. Go ahead and double-click a game to boot it up, and it's going to do all of the compiling and things that it needs to do, and then you can finally play. Now, it's important to note, it will compile shaders for new spots in the game when you go to them. and you will likely be compiling shaders throughout the entire time that you play the game. And it can look like stutters, but it's not technically stutters. Now, if you ever reload the game or head back after the shaders have compiled, the game will run smooth at that point. To exit, push escape, and then X out. Otherwise, that's really all there is to RPCS3 in setting it up, configuring it, and getting you ready to play games. We went over everything and anything that I could personally think of, and you should be able to do anything you want in RPCS3 now using today's guide and the different timestamps. Don't forget to like and sub to help the channel grow. Come join me on the Discord to talk all about retro gaming. Support me on Patreon if you like my stuff. And hope you all have a good one.